Okay, in the previous video, I talked about how Kuna really holds the keys about for District 23. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's just look at the general numbers here. So remember here are all of the precincts in Ada County. Just a real refresher here, right? 2301 in Ada County. Canyon puts the 23 at the end, so 49, 23, 50, 23, 51, 23, and 52, 20, no, oh, whoops, 48, 48, 23. All right. So what are the exact numbers? So I went ahead and I fat-fingered all of these to give a general idea. So for the senator position, and these are the primaries. So the thing with Idaho is like basically everyone's Republican unless you're in Boise, so or some other districts. But generally speaking, especially for District 23, the primaries select who the Republican candidate is going to be. There can only be one. And then once that Republican candidate is selected in the primaries, which happens typically in May, this election here that I'm going to show you the data from happened in May 2022, so May of last year. And then the Republican selected in the primaries ends up running in the general election against the other parties, the Democrats, Libertarians, Constitutionalists, Green Party. I'm not sure whoever those may be. That tends to be, I believe, in the fall. I believe November. Usually coincides with the presidential election. So basically, it's if you're running as a Democrat, you're not gonna win the general election. So the decision ultimately basically gets decided in the primaries in May, and that's going to be coming up 2024 in May, where the registered Republicans, get to decide who's going to be the representative, which ultimately means they're going to be winning the general election. So that's why it tends to matter more. So I analyzed the May 2022 primaries to see where the votes were coming in. Oftentimes it's said that Kuna has some pretty low turnout. I haven't done the analysis regarding the population above of voting age. But I'm just going to give a general idea to show that, because I said earlier, Kuna holds the keys in this. So yes, this is a lot of data. Yes, it looks crazy. So the main thing to look at is I think this number, 44%. So 44% of the total votes for the senator election came from Kuna, from those districts that I showed you here, the ones that say 23. Okay, and then 33% came from county. Sorry, I keep saying district, but I mean precincts. Whereas in Canyon County, it came from these 4 precincts here: 49, 23, 50, 23, 51, 23, 48, 23 over here. I'm going to dive even deeper into these precincts soon. And then Owyhee came in with 23. I guess you can't. There it is. 23%. 23% of the total votes. So if you're looking at it purely from a vote perspective, 44% of the votes came essentially from Kuna. And then the majority, you could easily, once you add that 44% and you add it to 2 districts in Canyon County, that's 48, 23, and 50, 23, you're going to see, well, it's the vast majority. So just to give a general idea, that would be, you can see here's the 23 area, and then over here is the 40, those Canyon ones, 48, 23, 50, 23. They're just in this general area where the mouse is circling. So what exactly is it? It's 4923 and 5023 right here. These 2 precincts. So what do I mean for Canyon County? You can see here that there were 693 votes from 4823, and then from 5023 it's 723. Whereas the other precincts you can see here it is like half. It's half. Half, less than half of those. So, like if you're going to be focusing, your time, you're going to be focusing, the best bang for your buck, 5023 and 4923, and then also the city of Kuna would be the areas. Now, I mean, you could go into detail on the precinct level, but I don't know if that's if that's worth it. If anyone cares, that's pretty. I mean, if you can message me if you want this table, and you can dive super deep down to the precinct level. But yeah, generally, okay. So just a bigger picture here. So that was a Senate race. There's not much you can really analyze from the Senate race because in all the districts, Todd Lakey had this almost a super majority. Well, he had at least he had the majority, if not higher. Well, he had more. I was going to say super majority at 66%. So you can see here the percentages for Ada County. Now, at least for the data for 2022, there is nobody like what could be interesting is if you somehow had somebody who won, the vast majority or had the plurality, right, of votes, because you don't have to have the majority to win, has the plurality, and then completely ignores Hawaii. And you could, I mean, Canyon, those, it's just two districts. Maybe you kind of go in there, you do a couple town halls, but essentially if you were to focus on Kuna, could you win theoretically Ada County, but then still lose if you lose Canyon and Waihi? I guess it's a matter of degrees, and I can't. That's going to be very candidate specific. So here's the information. You can see here the total votes and the percentages. So Melissa ended up winning for this seat. This is Representative 23, District 23 Representative A. That's so she won this, and then you can see specifically what districts that she may or may not had succeeded on, or as well. But she seemed to have pretty much gotten the plurality more than anybody else in Ada County, which makes sense because she has a big D ranch. They've been around Kuna for a long time. All right, here's Canyon County. Let's see if you see anyone beating. Okay, so here Tammy beat out Melissa Durant. So here you can see that Tammy Payne actually had more votes than Melissa Durant in Canyon County. So maybe Tammy was focusing more on Canyon. And then you can also see here in Owyhee that she got the majority as well. She got 31%, or not majority, sorry, the plurality versus Melissa's 20. No, I'm sorry. The numbers below, just ignore those. Those are something else. 37% versus a 31%. So in Owyhee and Canyon County, or the portions of that make up District 23, you can see that Tammy Payne actually beat Melissa Durant, but it didn't matter because Melissa carried Ada County, which has 45% of the total votes. And so at the end you had this. So even though Tammy Payne, had a larger percentage in Owyhee and Canyon, it was not enough to offset just the difference in Ada County. So Ada County, it was 38% versus 21%. So what percentage differences would it needed to have been for Tammy to win? I don't know. I mean, somebody else can do that math. I mean, it's all like would have, could have, should have. Just something just to point out one of the examples that why Kuna holds the keys. So I think that's pretty much it. You can pause the video or whatever, take a look at Kuna. Anyway, that's it. Have a good one.